The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, UNU Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
No! I'm going down to Alphabet Street. I'm gonna crown this girl that I meet. I'm gonna talk so switched.
Good evening, everybody. It is Tuesday night again. It is time for the F word. Sorry I missed you last week. I was talking to somebody else about some F words in Atlanta, and I'm excited to tell you more about that when things are solid, and you will hear about it first here on the F word. But tonight, I'm really excited. I've got this amazing friend, which is one of my favorite F words, that I'm going to introduce you tonight. But when I met him, I want to say it was years ago. This guy that most of you probably haven't even heard about, his name is Brett, here's an F word, Favre, was retiring, and I met this guy at an event through a mutual friend. Talked to him, turned out we had other mutual friends, and I talked him into driving my friend and I down to this football game, and it was a great time, and we've been friends ever since. But I want to introduce you all to Thomas Tapeh. How you doing, Thomas?
Doing very well, and yourself?
Very good. You know, it's finally getting warmer here in Minnesota. You're used to. How long did you live in Minnesota?
From 1989 to 2003.
A little bit. So you know, you get it. That's all I got to say is you get it. It's this. How did you come home much this winter?
No. I checked the weather. You know, the app was like negative 85, negative 125, negative 210.
Yes.
I think you guys can keep that.
Well, and I thought that Vikings were going to win the Super Bowl because I thought hell froze over, but didn't happen. It wasn't cold enough, right?
That's it.
But so you moved here in 1989, and everybody just, you know, a little bit of a background on Thomas. He played football in high school. He played football in college, and he played football in the NFL, which, by the way, less than 1% of every little boy that puts on a football helmet, he doesn't even have to play football. He just puts on a helmet and he wants to play football when he's a little tiny boy, like 5, 6 years old. Less than 1% of those little boys ever make it to the NFL. But when you hear about where Thomas came from and the fact that he made it there and what he's doing now, you're going to love this story. But Thomas, so when you said you moved here in 1989, how old were you?
I was 9 years old. I'm originally from Monrovia, Liberia, West Africa.
Okay. And
we migrated here because of the war in my country.
Okay.
And when we first came, my mother, we flew from Roberts International to Amsterdam. From Amsterdam, we landed in JFK, and it was in the wintertime. It was March.
Oh, wow.
And it was cold.
What did you have for clothes?
It was snowing.
I mean, were you even prepared?
I had pants and a shirt on. Didn't have no clue what cold was.
Mm-hmm.
Never experienced cold. And then I came outside, I landed in Minnesota, came outside. The sky was falling. That's what I thought when I first encountered snow.
All that white stuff. Yeah, there was like clouds.
And I ran back in. I grabbed my mom. I said, outside, it's like a freezer.
Aww.
Something is wrong with the place. She said, no, son, called winter.
Oh, my God.
And that was my introduction.
Wow. And so was it just you and your mom?
It was me and my mom, my two sisters.
Okay. Are they older or younger than you?
They're younger than me.
Okay.
And my father came, but he went to California, and we stayed in New York.
Okay.
I mean, we stayed in Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, seriously. So, you come from Monrovia. Why Minnesota? I mean, I'm just asking because it's like I would go like to Florida or California or Arizona, but you came to Minnesota.
Well, at that time, if I remember correctly, my mother said Minnesota had a Liberian community.
Okay.
So Liberians that came before my mom that were here that knew of her, how to find jobs. When we came, we had stayed with one of her friends until she got into the system, got her a job, got her own place, and then we finally moved out on our own.
Okay.
And since then, we've been here in Minnesota. So all the friends that she knew back in Liberia, they came here.
Okay.
They kind of stuck together and helped each other raise their kids. So if one person worked and the other person was home, they watched the kids.
Wow.
And that's how I was able to make it.
Did you speak English when you came here?
I did not. I spoke my dialect, but it was really broken English. You understood the basic words, but I didn't speak English. And I got teased a lot because I didn't quite comprehend what was being said to me. And it was tough. I was ESL student my whole middle school, elementary, grade school. But I got to high school and I finally started comprehending English a lot better.
Okay. What helped you comprehend it better?
Well, being that when I try to go out and talk to people, they would laugh at me. So what I would do, I would sit home, and I was fascinated with cartoons. So we didn't have very few people had TV in Liberia. So I would go home and watch cartoons, and I would repeat what the cartoons were saying.
Wow! Did you say yabba dabba do?
I would say everything. Yabba dabba do.
I love it.
Scooby Doo. I watched everything.
Oh, I love it.
Thundercats, Maya the Bee. Those are the cartoons that I watched, and I will repeat. Tailspin, DuckTales. I will repeat what the cartoon character was saying. That's how I was able to learn how to pronounce the words. I didn't fully understand what they were saying, but I'll repeat the words to learn how to properly pronunciate the words.
Wow. I wish somehow the people that created those cartoons knew that. Seriously. That's better than Hooked on Phonics, when you think about it, right? My gosh. When I think of like all the cartoons that I watched as a kid with the Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, and the Jetsons. Think about that. We're living in Jetson time now.
But you spoke English. I was watching it to learn.
I know.
That's how I learned. And I'm grateful for those cartoons. That's why I remember them to this day.
That is so great. So, your kids watch cartoons?
The TV shows are different nowadays.
They are. I don't like them.
They're more so on their iPads.
No.
They have the kids' YouTube channel and they watch everything.
Okay, let me ask you. Do they like that? I was just gonna ask you. I had to deal with Barney.
They don't really watch Barney.
Is Barney still even on?
Barney's still on and kicking.
Wow, here's how long Barney's been in my life. My oldest son, Thomas, you ready for this? He's gonna be 30 in November. I was 2 years old when I had him. And Barney was his hero. And
wow.
I remember taking him to a parade when he was 3 and we were in Kentucky, and Barney didn't stop by us. And I had to walk into the parade and go get Barney and pull him. I'm like, I'm serious. You better come over here and see my kid. It's just not even, I can't deal with it. Barney came over, but my God, my second child, who's 24, it was Barney too. So by the time the third one came along, each one of my kids are 5 years apart. It was the Teletubbies. Worse, way worse. That one was. But by then I was traveling all the time for work, so their dad had to deal with it. I was okay. But Baby Shark. Yeah, even I know that one. That's the new Barney. I'm not kidding. But okay, so you moved here at 9. You watched cartoons. What kind of sport did you play in Africa? Were you into sports then?
Soccer.
Okay.
And that was our football. And I played soccer from sun up to sundown because nothing else to do. But they have courts to dribble on. And the courts are for the older people who could afford it. So everybody, you'll go in the back of the house, clean the area off, put 2 sticks in the ground, get a soccer ball, and you go at it.
Wow. So I remember something that you told me when you came to the U.S. About running water. That was something different to you too.
That was a nice treat because where I grew up, now not all Liberia like this. Those who had the money, now that I'm learning, lived very, very well back in Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
But where I met my grandmother, I lived with my grandma, and we didn't have it like that. But in order for us to shower, we had to go to a well or to a stream, pour the water up, come by, heat it, and you take showers. When I came to America, I went to this faucet, and they had H and C on there. And I turned it, and guess what? Water turned hot. I was like, oh my goodness. And I turned the other one, and it turned cold, and I was able to adjust the temperature. Oh, this was luxury. I thought I was in heaven.
Really? We take it for granted. I mean, I think about, I grew up here in Minnesota, born and raised in Minneapolis, grew up in Excelsior. Just don't even think about it. And I think so many people nowadays don't even realize that there's still people out there that don't know what that is.
And I just recently went home after 29 years. Believe it or not, same conditions.
Really?
And it hurt.
I was just
And
about
it
to
hurt.
ask you.
And it hurt.
How long ago was that? How long ago was it?
I left in 89. I went back in March of 18. I've been going back since. Every 3 or 4 months I try to go back home.
Do you still have a lot of family there?
Yes, I do. I have brothers and sisters who I ain't seen for 29 years.
Oh my
And it was good
gosh.
to look at somebody that actually looked like me.
Well, you're really good looking. Not, I don't mean to embarrass you. So there's a bunch more that look like you too?
A whole bunch more.
Oh,
Dad,
ladies, you know where to
23
go.
Kids.
So wait, what?
Yeah, he had about 23 kids, about 16 or 17 boys.
Your father did?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So seriously, okay. Tell me a little bit about your father, because to have that many kids, I would love to hear about him.
The truth of the story is, I was young, so I didn't really get a chance to know him.
Uh-huh.
Only time I would see him is when we weren't at our grandma's house. We'll go to his house, but I didn't really spend time with him. There was no bonding, nothing of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
I would just see him get up, and I would see him come back, and that was it. And he met my mother later on, so me and my sister were in the back of the pack. We weren't in the beginning.
Okay.
So we get the opportunity to grow with him and see him. All we knew is that we had a dad who worked with the government or in the government sector, and he was known. And that's all we knew. So when we came, that's how I was able to get our passports to leave the country before the war broke because of his status. So when we came to the U.S., he went on with his friends in California, and we stayed in Minnesota, where my mother basically had to work and live in a nursing home in order to provide for us. So the upbringing was, listen, I'll provide food, shelter, clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else with America, I really don't know, but we're going to figure this thing out together. I'll provide these things for you guys. When you guys go to school, you come home, you got to take care of yourselves, because I have to go make money for us to make it. And that was my life. That was my childhood.
Wow.
And I got into a lot of trouble because there was no male figure around. I got into a lot of fights, and then in the 8th grade, I had got kicked out of school, got suspended, and I came home.
Uh-oh.
They had called my mom, and I came home, and she was crying. Lord, what did I do wrong? Why is my son acting the way he's acting? We're in this country. I'm just trying to give a better life to my kids. What's happening? And I snuck in the house so I wouldn't get beat, but she wouldn't hear me.
Right.
And I heard her crying, and that did something to me.
Thomas, yes.
It woke me up where I went outside and I just said, I don't know who you are, God, as you're praying, but if you are who you say you are, help me.
Mm-hmm.
And I kid you not, the next week when I got back into school, the liaison that was there, his name was Steve Scroggins, he pulled me to the side. He said, who are you, young man? I've seen you for soccer season, but after that, I don't see you around. And I've heard things about you. And when I tried to talk to him, he said, oh, you're not from here. That's when he realized my accent was strong, and he said, well, let me help you. And I said, how can you help me? And he said, I'm the basketball coach here. I run the hallways. I make sure things get done in school as they're supposed to.
Uh-huh.
And he just started talking to me about what I can be, the things that I can do. And then he told me, listen, he said, come to school for 2 months. And he said, if in these 2 months, things don't get better, you can do what you want to do with your life. I said, okay, so in 2 months, what do I do? He said, well, basketball season is about to start. So you're going to play basketball.
Wow.
I'm going to teach you basketball.
I didn't
And
know
then,
that.
and then you're going to go to school and do what your mom tells you to do at home. So I said, okay. So the first month was hard. It was an adjustment. I had to come to school every time because I want to keep my word myself.
Mm-hmm.
The first month was kind of hard, but then during that first month, I realized that as long as I go home and do my work in my school and do what my mom asked me to do, she doesn't bother me. And then I realized that if I'm in school applying myself, hold on, maybe reading is not as hard because here I am, 13, 14, can't read, and I got in trouble because it was the barrier, English barrier, the language barrier. So I didn't know that because I wasn't applying myself that I was able to learn. So come the second month, I realized my teachers really did want to help me. And I realized people really did genuinely wanted to help me. And from that point on, once I realized that I can get help, I started going after help and my life started changing. I went from an F student to an A honor student. And
That's
I see
amazing.
my mother smiling. And I told myself, never again would I put a smile or a frown on her face.
Oh.
Since that day, I have not done it.
So you turned her frown upside down, as I used to say to my kids, right? Wow. You know, I'm not going to lie, as a mother to 3 amazing young men, I mean, I couldn't be more proud of them. But it wasn't something that I used, but naturally, if they did something, what I found out was if it made me cry, it broke their heart. I saw that in them, and that's when you know that your child has an amazing heart, because that's the last thing any of us want to do, I would think, hurt our mom, you know? I mean, and I'm not discounting dads, but that unconditional love and I'm not saying you don't have unconditional love, but when your mom has tears and caused it's just like, I can't even imagine my dad crying over me. That would be, I think I'd be even more devastated because it takes a lot more. But yeah, my hat's off to you, because that, to me, it sounds like you found faith at that time too.
I did. Well, I realized that the route that I was on was not helping, and not just that. I'm not from America, so why am I fighting? But I come to find out that it was not my fault. I had nobody to help me adjust or adapt to the country. Here I come from a place where everybody look like me, talk like me, sound like me. All of a sudden, I'm seeing different shades of people, different cultures. and I struggled.
Mm-hmm.
So the adapting part was difficult, and I didn't know how to adapt other than lash out.
No, that makes
But
sense.
but now as I look back, I realized what I was doing. I was crying for help,
Right.
but I didn't understand that at that time.
No.
So
Well,
I fought.
yeah, any attention is attention. I mean,
Yeah.
because you just don't know. You know what I'm curious about? How did your sisters do?
They actually did well. They applied themselves. They didn't get bothered as much as I did. They were younger than me. Yeah, so I'm the one that got teased because I was the boy. And then when it was time for recess, I'm running around the other kids. They're telling me, pass the ball, do this, do that. I didn't comprehend.
Oh.
So then they'll talk about me and start calling me names. And I get mad and go swing it.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Well, oh, my gosh. Well, I'll tell you, I got to tell you something. So my youngest son, Mason, he just turned 20. I can't even, trust me, it goes so fast. But so he's dating this amazing girl. And it turns out her mother graduated high school with me. And when he first, I know, right? When he first met her, her name is Susie, and I love her. He said, "Oh, they figured out that we graduated together," and he said my name, and she goes, "Oh my God, yes, I know who that is." She was always the really tall, really pretty, and very quiet person. Very quiet. My son was like, "Wait, what? I thought you had it, but no, you might be mistaking her for somebody else." But I was so quiet. I was trying to fly under the radar because I was a troublemaker, I promise, but I was very sneaky about it. I didn't start fights, but I just kind of I went to a Christian school, and I got in 10th and 11th grade. I got suspended both years. And then I had to go to the public school my senior year. But yep, she knew me. I didn't know her, but it's funny the difference. I just I was trouble. Didn't get in fights. I just didn't want to go to school. That's what it was. But it worked. I managed. I got out, and I can still function. An adult. I just didn't think I needed any of that stuff. But tell me more about, so your mother, so she worked at a nursing home?
Yes, she did.
Okay. I worked at a nursing home. That was one of my first jobs. Excelsior. And that takes, did she take care of the patients, or was she in the...
Yeah, so she started off as the health aide, but she like the CNA. She was cleaning taking care of the client, the patients, cleaning them, wiping them down, cleaning the place up.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we came, then she put herself in school.
Okay.
So she'll go to work, come study, and go to class. And she,
wow,
3 to 4 years later, she got her LPN, a licensed medical nurse.
Wow.
So she became a LPN. Then she got a higher position. That's how she was able to take care of us.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, that's when I finally started I was doing good in school. In my 8th grade year, 9th grade year, 10th grade year.
Mm-hmm.
And my 10th grade year, going to my junior year, that's when I came out for football. Well, that's when they actually got me out to play football.
So who got you out to play football?
His name is Carl Dickman.
Okay.
I was in gym class, and we were all doing the gym class testing, the running, the jumping, the jump rope, the sit-ups, and whatnot.
Oh my God! Did you have to climb? Did you have to climb the rope?
Yeah, I did all that.
Oh, I hated that. In the bent arm,
so,
bent arm hang, I could never do it. I was too.
So when it was my turn to climb the rope, I run up the rope, run down, and I was like, "Who is this kid?"
Oh, what?
It was so easy because I was stronger than everybody.
Yeah.
And then he had the stand and broad jump. So for middle school, for high school, the board was like 8 feet.
Uh-huh.
Most kids jumping like 6 feet, 7 feet.
What did
when
you
I
do?
came up, I cleared the board.
Oh.
He jump again. I said, okay. So I went back and I jumped. He said, bend your knees. So I bent my knee. I jumped like 9.5, almost 10 feet.
Get out.
He said, oh my God. He said, why aren't you playing football? I said, football? I don't play football. He said, you will now.
Wow.
And then he made me sit for the whole day after school was out. He took me downstairs. Hey, you're going to play football. I said, man, I don't play football. That is not my sport. Lo and behold, when he left, I left behind him. The next day they say, hey, that kid you brought down here left after you left.
Mm-hmm.
So he looked for me, kept me in his office the whole day. Downstairs, again, so I had to put the pads, I had to learn and whatnot, but I knew nothing, so they had me playing offensive guard. I ain't no football, so the kid got the line and he would hit me.
Uh-oh.
And I
So
said,
you don't like
what's
that.
going on here? I had no clue. So, well, you can hit him back, no problem. Being I was showing them most of the kids, I would knock them down, and I was saying, look at them.
Mm-hmm.
Should I go hit the next kid? I said, no, you told me to hit this kid. Why should I go hit the other kid?
Just hit everybody.
So I had to learn the process, but one thing I always love, I'm like, what's going on? So after I hit the kid, I look back. Coach, I want to do that. Coach, I want to do that. I want to run the ball. And they kept telling me, no, you can't run the ball. No, you can't run the ball.
Because you're bigger than all the kids. They don't let you,
Exactly.
right?
They didn't want to let me. They know you can't run the ball. No, you can't run the ball. So lo and behold, the second game, because I came late, it was like 4 more games left. So they go to the game, and we're playing Cretan Durham, and the running back gets hurt. I ran. I said, can I please run the ball? I said, yeah, no, nothing. I said, throw the ball like you throw it to him.
Mm-hmm.
So they threw me a tall sweep. I took it to the house. They said that was a fluke. So we got the ball back again.
That's
threw another tall
word.
sweep. I took that to the house. They said, no, that's a fluke.
Are you kidding?
So
You did it twice.
I did it twice, back to back. Kicked the ball off. I caught it, took it to the house. They said, oh no, something's wrong here.
Wait,
From
Thomas,
that point on,
are
the
you
rest
kidding
is
me?
history. No.
So, okay, you know, so you played Cretan Durham Hall, but what team did you play for?
St. Paul Johnson.
St. Paul Johnson. Okay. Because here's something that people don't know, that I didn't know until I just kind of looked it up. I'm not going to lie. So, a fun fact about you is you're the only player for a touchdown in the Metrodome as a high schooler, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a collegiate player, and as an NFL player.
Oh, wow.
Did you know
I
that?
should be in Guinness then. Put me in Guinness book.
No, I know, right? I read that today. I'm
That's
like, are
not bad.
you kidding me? I said, you drove me all the way to the Badger Stadium, and I didn't even know that about you. Look at that. I mean, that's amazing. You are the only person to do that. So that
Not
was
bad.
for Johnson. And let's talk about, okay, so you went from high school.
So my junior year, my sophomore year, I played like 2 games on JV. The season's over with. So they brought me on varsity. And I was
Heck
playing
yeah.
defense.
Mm-hmm.
And the next year, they sent me to a football camp, University of Minnesota football camp. And when I went there, I came late. That's when they made them the second year. They had a bunch of guys that ran their 40, and the fastest guy ran like a 4.45 or something.
Uh-huh.
And I came late. I ran my 40. I ran a 4.42. And the kid haven't even stretched yet. So the kid ran a 4.45. He ran against me. I ran a 4.37. I left him.
How did you, I mean, seriously,
It was like,
how
who
were
is
you
this
so
kid?
athletic? Just because you just naturally, biologically...
Yeah, it's in my blood. I didn't know. So then, and I go to the camp. Mason called me down to offer me a scholarship. I didn't know what that meant. I had no clue. So then I work out with the team, going to then my junior year finally came out. And
Wait a minute. I'm going to interrupt you. How old were you when they wanted to offer you a scholarship?
I was like, what, 16, 15?
Wow.
So then my junior year came up. I finally went and played. And I broke just about every record Minnesota had. return the ball my junior year. So I played my senior season, and I had about 30-something touchdowns each season.
What?
1,800 yards each season.
Thomas, that's crazy. And so that was under Glenn Mason.
No, that was at Johnson.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yep.
okay.
And I was All-American. And then I stayed home. That's when I learned what recruiting was about. I
Okay.
stayed home and be with my family. I didn't want to leave Minnesota.
Okay.
Yep.
So when you went to Minnesota,
When I went to Minnesota, it was different. So there's a thing called the ACT.
yes. Yeah,
And
take that.
I had a 3.85 GPA out of high school,
Okay.
but I couldn't pass the ACT to save my life. I
Why?
took it 4
Why
times.
why do you think that was?
SL, English is my second language.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So here I am, Sid Hartman, a great Sid.
Oh,
He wouldn't make it. He's a great athlete, but he can't pass the test. He gonna be like the rest of them. You know, great man. But he said, yeah, he broke all these records, do this and that, but he can't even pass the ACT. But I was a prop 48. And I was able to go to school my first year, but I couldn't play.
okay.
So when I got to Minnesota, I couldn't play. And then my sophomore year, when I got eligible to play, I break my left foot. I got a Liz Frank. Separation of metatarsal. So my left my bone, my left toe and the bone next to it, those two broke.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So there goes my sophomore season, and I sat the whole year, rehab the next year. Came back my junior year, I break my right foot. Same injury.
So how do you do that?
Well, I'm flat-footed. So at the University of Minnesota, and where in college too, I mean pros, they had to tape you, but the tape was too tight, and I would tell them it's too tight, and they said, well, that's just how things go. You got to get tape. I said, I don't mind getting tape, but can you take me loose, or then it won't hold. So what you do? You shut your mouth and you do what you're told.
Right.
And when I run hard.
Right.
Every time I would get better and try to go full speed, something would go.
Oh Lord.
So my sophomore year, I break my left foot. Get the surgery set the next year, try to come back the following season. Broke my right foot set that year, and I finally came back my last year of my college career. And I was able to play a little bit. I had some shoes made that were wider. They finally started taking my foot a lot looser. And I was able to get a couple games in my senior year. And with all that, I still got drafted.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Is you didn't play a lot, so
No,
I
I
mean,
did not.
but when you did play, you were that good that they were.
Well, I don't know if it sounded that good. I guess I was fortunate. Because by
Okay.
that time, that's
That's a
when
good
Barber
F word.
came. And then that's when Maroney came.
Uh-huh.
So I just sat back, and then when I got healthy enough, they pulled me at fullback. They would run the ball and I'll block. And every now and then I might get a ball or two. And the rest is history.
Well, so no, it is that is absolute fortunate faith. I mean, there's so many things that come into play
Yeah.
with what you've done, and I mean, when you talked about a little bit earlier about your community, I mean, it's like you're a hero in your hometown in St. Paul and all over the place. I mean, people know what you've done. The reason why I've touched back on your mom working at the nursing home is because I know one of your companies that you've done has to do with that. But I want to circle now to your NFL career. So you went, where did you go first when you were drafted?
So when I got drafted, I was drafted for 5th round Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
And I went there, and it was great. My first year, I didn't know much, trying to learn, adapting from college to professional.
Mm-hmm.
And ironically, I had some good teammates, some good leaders: Brian Dawkins, Donovan McNabb, Jeremiah Trotter,
Wow.
Ike Reese, Trey Thomas, John Runyon. And these were guys that took me under their wing and
Wow.
started teaching me the game. And towards the end of the season, I started picking up the playbook a whole lot better because from college to professional, you're speaking Chinese.
Okay.
Sometimes even Russian. That's how hard the playbook was.
Wow.
But
Especially
towards the end
with
of the season,
ESL, then you're going to Chinese now, yeah, and Russian.
Oh, it's hard.
Crazy.
And it's being spoken to you at a fast pace.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys are moving faster. The ball is moving faster. The game is moving faster. Everything is moving fast.
Mm.
So therefore, we're struggling. I'm struggling trying to figure it out, but I was able to hang in there because of my ability. I would make plays. They would call a play as long as I knew if I was going left or right. My natural ability will allow me to make plays. So in the meeting room, they would say, "Thomas, how the play is called here. How'd you know this was there?" I would say, "Coach, that's my gift. I read movement." Yeah, but the play is designed to go here. How'd you know it's going to happen? I said, "Coach, that's my gift. I read movements." So when I run the ball, I would see 2 or 3 levels before I even got to it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so when the ball is snapped, when guys are moving, I already know what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. So I'm jumping to where I know I need to be before I even get there.
Uh-huh.
So that was the gift that I had. So no matter what play is called, I was able to get away because my gift was reading movements from playing soccer. So soccer, the ball is in front of you, and guys can't touch it, so you're constantly thinking ahead what's next. So playing football, it took the ball out of my hands, from in front and put it in my hands. So I just knew what to do without even thinking about what to do. So long story short, as I got through my end of my rookie season, I started getting the ball more, and behold, I get injured. I dislocated my hip. It broke out.
It did what? It popped
My
out
hip came out of socket
during a game?
during the game.
Okay, so the mom and me, okay. Okay. So having watched, so my oldest son was a double striper, right? You know what I mean by that, right? So when he would get hurt, he'd be laying out there on the field, I was that mom, like, you need to pull him. Oh my God, right? Because he's getting worn down. I mean, when you got hurt, were you worn down first? And then you got hurt?
It's not so much worn down. You know, there were so many going on. This is where faith come in play. So ironically, week 6, I go to the Bible, and honestly, now this is the truth, I don't tell nobody, but week 6, I was so tired of getting hit in the NFL because I didn't quite know the plays. So though I'm able to compete at that level, I belong there, but because I didn't understand the language, the playbook, it was hard for me. And I'm sitting there trying to figure out, God, what am I doing here? And that's where faith comes in play, and I'm fighting to figure out what I'm going to do next. Then all of a sudden, Ike Reese comes to me and says, "Hey man, let's go to Bible study." We go to Bible study.
Who brought you there?
Ike Reese.
Okay.
We go to Bible study, and I'm sitting there looking at the preacher give us the Bible, the message for the day,
Uh-huh.
and he's looking at me. He is looking at me. He is looking at me, and he points to me. He said, "Hold on, it's getting loud. Hold on 1 second, okay?"
Okay. You'll be back, you guys. Good. Anyway, when Thomas comes back, He seriously is one of my favorite people. Such a good person, and I'm loving that. And that's the F word. Okay, we're talking about your faith. Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm actually in New York right now.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Where?
At Fordham University doing my MBA program.
I love that. I want to hear more about that because I thought I saw a picture with you in it, and you were kind of far away, and I was going to ask you that. Okay.
Yeah. So when I met the pastor, I'm sitting in the room, and he's giving the assignment. He looks at me. He said, "You, what's your name?" I said, "Thomas." He said, "Okay." He goes back to giving the message.
Mm-hmm.
Then he says, like 10 minutes later, looks at me. He said, "You, Thomas, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Listen, young man, God told me to tell you stop running."
What?
I said, "Excuse me?" He said, "Yes. Stop running." After I got scared, I got up and ran out that room.
Wow.
But that was the beginning. To the next Bible study, I went to him. I said, "Man, what do you mean stop running?" He said, "Young man, God got something for you. But once you come here, my man of God." He said, "All I can tell you is God got something for you." So I said, "Okay." That next week, I goes to church for the first time for myself. Not because my mom told me to go, because I wanted to hear this man's God that he's talking about got something for me.
Right.
I go there, Kathy, and the late Pastor Lamont starts preaching, and I'm sitting here like, what is this man talking out of? Where's he talking from? For the first time, I started hearing my spirit start believing in God.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time I went and got saved. And I was at peace for the first time.
It was the Holy
So this
Spirit.
is week 6, exactly. And then week 15, I get injured. I dislocate my hip. And when I was down, I said, "You know what? When I got injured, I'm laying on my back. I can't get up."
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm like, wow, I see my left knee and my right knee is back like 4 inches. I said, "That's not good."
Oh, my gosh.
And I said, "You know what, God? If you are who you say you are," I said, "Help me." He said, "Help me."
Mm-hmm.
And when I said that, how you doing? And when I said that, I felt a spirit come upon me that kept me calm, kept me extremely calm. And then when they was looking at me like, what we going to do? Because they realized my hip was out. Next thing you know, I looked at the doctors. I said, "Hey, man," I said, "put it back." They said, "Excuse me?"
Were you awake for that?
I was awake. Kathy, when after I said, "Lord, let your will be done,"
Yes.
I felt a calm come about me that I never felt before. I literally felt something come on me, and it relaxed me. And when I said that, I said, "Put it back." And they were looking like, "What do we do?" I said, "Man, listen, pop it back."
Wow.
And they sat there, they embraced me. After 3 or 4 minutes, they snapped it, and it popped.
Oh, wow. That is Jesus. That's God. That's, wow. That seriously is.
And the same way I was on that field, that's how they put me on the stretcher, tied me down, and they braced my foot, and that's how I flew home. On a single engine Cessna plane. And I flew home. They took me to the hospital. They cut the jersey off of me, transferred me to the bed, and I was bedridden for 8 months.
Thomas, I didn't know that. 8 months. God said stop running. Wow.
Yeah.
So during those 8 months, you're bedridden. Where's your mind? Where's your heart? What's going on in your
All I
head?
can do is look up. But I said, "You know what? Happened for a reason. So what is you want me to learn?" And that's when I started reading about myself.
Wow.
But even still then, I didn't know that I was still operating out of fear. Not faith, but fear.
Right.
just last year, or 2016, I finally encountered God for myself again.
Mm-hmm.
But this time was different.
Yeah.
But that whole time I was down there, and when I was on that bed, I just told him, you know what, if you can get me out of this, I promise you, I will not turn from you. And I stayed with them, and I didn't play the next year. I tried to come back the following season. My hip was still messed up, and then I had to learn how to literally walk again. And because in the NFL they had put you in a pool where there's a treadmill,
Mm-hmm.
and the treadmill, it dropped me down where the treadmill is moving, so I can move my left leg. My right leg is being dragged, so I'll fall in the water.
Oh no! And you're sputtering, and I mean, if
So
somebody like,
I had to teach myself how to walk again,
wow.
literally. So the whole process of returning took a year and a half for me to come back to play football again. So I came back a new person, came back a new man, and a new faith.
Wow.
Newfound faith that I thought I knew, but there was more to it. And I came back and played 4 more seasons.
Well, that's a miracle. And when you hear, I mean, that's literally God working in your life. And wow. You know, because when I met you, I remember when we were walking and you would say, I have to stop for a second. I have to, take my time. When we went to the stadium, I didn't realize that it was all of that. Wow. I mean, what you've come back from and the pain that you've had to live and endure and still have a smile on your face and still work hard. So we've got like 10 minutes. I want to ask you about the financial side of things, because like when you and I met, we were at that after the game talking about finance, and you got up and I absolutely loved your talk for these kids. If you knew then, when you first got into it, when you first got into the NFL, I mean, what was that like for you when you got drafted? What, financially, what did that do for you?
Well, I was a 5th round draft pick, so I didn't get the big money. But for me, who never had money, my goodness, I can actually buy me something now.
Right.
And I realized that, hold on, this thing maybe can change the outcome of my future.
Mm-hmm.
So my why that I play football, why did I play football?
Mm-hmm.
Because I had opportunity to change the outcome of my future, of my family. We came from
family,
nothing.
Right.
We came from nothing.
Nothing,
So here's
exactly.
an opportunity for me to put my faith, my body on the line to provide for my family. And that's why it didn't matter what injury I will encounter or what injury may happen to me, I will come back because I knew why I was playing this game.
Mm-hmm.
Not for me, but for my family. And they deserve everything I got.
Wow.
And that's why I gave them everything I got. So after football, I signed Minnesota. And 2008 was the crash. I hurt my knee.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, I couldn't play football. I had to invest my money with the CPA.
Right.
So after football, okay, I got a couple million put aside. I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
I go to him, and he starts stuttering.
What?
And I'm saying, hold on, man. I'm the African, not you. But when I'm supposed to be stuttering.
Oh, no.
Long story short, the money was gone.
When was
And
he
I
going
had
to
to-
let you know that? So you had to
He
go to
didn't tell
him?
me. I had to go to him to ask for it because I was done playing.
Mm-hmm.
And I still got bills coming. And I'm saying, well, I'm going to where's my money? Well, Thomas said, what? So I flew out there. I said, well, where's my money? And he looked at me and said, the money's gone. And I had to leave. I had to turn around and walk away.
I mean,
And that's when the battle started.
okay. So
And
that one of the things that you said to me sticks with me more than what anybody else says. It's only money.
Yep.
What did you tell me?
You can always make more.
You can always make more.
Yeah.
Is that what you thought to yourself when you walked away from that?
Well, it didn't happen at that minute.
I was going to say that's going to take a little bit of.
Because my whole mindset was this was for me to change the outcome of my family's future.
Right.
And now it's all taken from me. So how do I now get this thing back which I've lost?
Right.
So therefore, I had to literally retrain myself. But then I went through the depression, trying to figure out what I'm going to do,
Right.
trying to find jobs, all the whole nine.
Mm-hmm.
The whole nine. Hold on, please.
Okay.
So I literally had to reinvent myself all over again. And that's when I said, you know what? If I can come here from this country, I look back at all the obstacles which I've overcome to get where I am. This wasn't by chance.
Right.
This is not by chance. So I just said, you know what, God, you helped me before, you can help me again. But it was not easy because I lost everything. Lost the house, lost the cars, I lost everything. I lost my faith. But I had to realize that, Thomas, you're not from here. You're different. You're cut different. You're built different. And then I started going back and said, you know what? I made football my family. I made football my faith. And put God back in his place. Make him first in my life. Make him my father. Make him my everything. And once I started doing that, I started going to him and asking him, how do I make money? Now, no, how do I really be successful in this world? Mm-hmm. And I realized I had to teach myself. And I started reading the word.
Yeah.
As I read the word, I read more about me. And I read all the things that I can do. Because I am little God, big God.
Yeah.
So he said, cast all your cares onto me, or you shall not struggle. All these things that I was reading, I had to literally believe those things for myself. Yeah. As I started to believe those things, I started changing my mind. As I changed my mind, my faith changed, my belief changed. And then I started believing him for who he is. But still then, I was still after him for finances. Mm-hmm. Get me back. And the good thing that I did do, I stopped focusing on me. I started focusing on how I can help other people. Exactly. And once I did that, because God said, if you take care of my people, I will take care of you. And I started taking care of people. I realized that if I could provide service to help people, God would then help me in return. And that's how I started my home health care agency and started making money. So now I take care of my family like I wanted, but now I don't have to run down the field and hurt nobody or try to hurt myself trying to do that.
And and speaking of faith, you've healed your body a lot too.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
And
yes, I have.
That's been a miracle as well. But doing the home health care,
yes.
Are my dear friend, somebody that I completely look up to, and I'm learning more about you just from this conversation, that it seriously makes my heart so happy and I want to cry at the same time. Does that make sense? And you're such an inspiration. Tell everybody, we just have a few minutes, but your home health care, where is that right?
Yes, I had one in Minnesota, but the problem in Minnesota, I built it for my family, and unfortunately, I can't be here to teach them how to do everything because I have so much more going on now.
Right.
And I have one in Philadelphia, and I had one in Minnesota. So unfortunately, I had to let the Minnesota one go.
Okay.
Because it was just too much for them, and I couldn't be here to walk them through it.
Right.
So I have one in Philadelphia. I have about 100 clients.
Okay.
And I employ about 200 people, 250 people.
Okay.
So that's a blessing within itself. And then a month ago, I always wanted to open a water ice stand. It's a Philadelphia treat. I went down to New Orleans and I opened one. And that has literally blown me away because I have not been able to rest since I opened this water ice stand in New Orleans. The city loves it. The people are receiving it. They're excited about it. And it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And they can't stop.
God's blessing you for what you do.
Yes, He is. Yes, He is. It's been fun. It is fun. It's a lot of fun.
And it's a lot of work. I mean, one thing I know about you is that you built everything with your own two hands. You put all your blood, sweat, and tears into what you're doing. And, yeah, I mean, God is blessing you and blessing everybody. I'm not kidding you. When I was looking at that menu and I'm looking at the pictures and I shared your site, and I think I might have doubled the amount of likes, but I got to get down there because that stuff looks good.
It is. It's fun. It's fast paced. The people absolutely love it, and they can't stop.
I love it. I love it. Well, you know what, Thomas? Thank you so much for coming on tonight. Everybody, you got to go tell everybody the name of it.
It's Tapeh's Water Ice.
Tapeh's Water Ice in New Orleans. I'm going to post it all over social media. Y'all got to go. And they even have chicken and waffles. I'm going, really? I mean, you're taking care of everybody's taste down there, so I love it. You got to bring it to St. Paul or Minneapolis or even Chanhassen. Maybe not. But, Thomas, you know I adore you.
Thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate it.
Yes, and thank you so much. I would love to have you anytime. We can talk about whatever you want. And everybody, thank you so much for joining us on the F Word tonight. You go get that MBA. And be even more dangerous than you are now.
Yes, it'll be my pleasure.
All right, Thomas. Go have fun. Thank you.